Welcome to Murder and Everything Else. My name is Joy.
And my name is Cheryl. Joy and I are two very old friends who love to talk about murder and everything else. So I just have to say, I've been very disappointed with Timu or Tamu. How do you pronounce it? Tamu?
I say Timu.
I say Timu, but somebody I know says Tamu. I don't know.
Tamu. It sounds like the sound a cow makes. Tamu.
Yeah.
Moo.
Tamu. It sounds like when people say Target.
Oh yeah. It's the French pronunciation.
Timu. It's like a fancy
Bijou.
bougie.
That's right.
Bougie way of saying Timu. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but the last time I ordered, I never got my order. They made it sound like your address was like from an alien planet.
Did they give you your money back at least?
Yeah, they did.
Oh.
But sometimes, like, their shit's so cheap that it's not even about, like, I just want the stuff. So then this time, so I almost didn't give them another chance. I was like, why? I don't understand why it's so difficult. Meanwhile, Joy has package after package after package showing up on the doorstep.
Oh, don't get me started about the number of packages arriving at my house. This is so rich.
No, you have way more packages than me. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Anyway, from Timu, she has all of her packages arrive here. I don't know what the hell's wrong with mine, but I gave them another chance and I ordered 2 water picks and only one showed up. And
you hit your quota. The water pick quota. They're all. There's a woman in North Carolina addicted to water picks.
No, so I wrote to them. They're like, "Can you show us the packaging?" And I said I threw it out already. And then I guess it's an AI. Her name's Ethme, ETHME. Ethme says,
instead of Esme.
I don't know.
Ethme.
But she's
it's
like,
Esme with a lisp.
I didn't tell you this, but I got a response that said, because I couldn't prove that not only one was shipped, they can't give me a refund. So I wrote back to them today and I said,
ooh,
how am I supposed to prove that you guys only shipped one? And then the next automated, I think this one was unnamed, but it said, we'll give you a 20% discount up to $20. Is that okay? I was like, okay, because I better take what I can get at this point. And then I look at it, and there's an expiration date. Like, you have to use it within a week.
All the coupons have expiration dates. But give it to me if you're not going to order something. I could use that coupon.
Okay, well, then can you order me another water pick when you place your order?
How much are they?
$8. That's why I'm like, it's like they know you're not going to track down $8, but still it's $8 that I spent that I have nothing to show for except heartache. So I'll give you the coupon.
Heartache.
And are you going to place an order within the next week?
Heartache. I could.
You can? Okay. Because the thing with them is you have to like buy a certain amount for free shipping. And I just...
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I think so. Well, you don't know because it's like $12. But my water pick's only $8.
I always order like $100 worth of stuff.
And I'm afraid to order 2 of anything now because I think it's easily missed. I ordered 2 electric.
Timu.
I ordered 2 electric toothbrushes. We shall see if 2 come. I did
from Amazon or from Timu?
Timu.
You crazy girl.
No.
How do you even know that shit's gonna work?
Because I've bought water picks from them and they've lasted years. And I did buy Kelly like 5 outfits, so we'll see if 5 come.
Oh my God.
They're all for cold weather.
She bought her a costume that will turn her into a water pick.
She has never lived in very cold weather, and according to you, it's going to be very cold.
It's going to be cold. I keep telling Cheryl it's going to be cold. It's so cold, Cheryl, that I don't want to walk my dogs.
Well, so she needed like very, very cute onesie outfits that are going to keep her warm. I got her a very warm jacket, even though she already has one. I got her more boots.
Oh, God. Jesus take the wheel. Well, on that note, if you want to see a picture of Callie in her boots and her parka, you need to head over to our Instagram or TikTok because I am going to put those pictures up there. Okay? So you heard it here first. Anyway, updates.
One update each.
Whatevs. I actually only have one update, okay? So sometimes I talk about where we're being listened to and by how many people and all that kind of stuff. And then I shout out the new country that we're being listened to. But Cheryl, I was looking at our stats. Did you know we're being listened to 47 states and the District of Columbia?
No, well, you said a while ago that it was 40-something.
It was 46, but now it's 47. Guess what the 3 holdout states are?
What?
Arizona. You don't want to guess? No, girl. Arizona's on the map.
I don't know.
Arizona is in the his house.
Utah.
South Dakota, Wyoming, and Montana. Isn't that funny? I have a theory that they don't have internet access in those states. What do you think?
No, they're definitely not going to listen to us.
Also, they're riding horses around all the time and lassoing ponies and cows.
They're too busy out in the
too busy on the prairie.
Yes.
You know?
They're out in nature.
That's right. So what about you, Cheryl? You got any updates for our listeners? All 4 of them?
I have an update that I've discovered recently that I no longer like tuna. That's my update.
This just in. Cheryl no like it a fish.
Listen.
Wait, what about those fish fillets though? You like those?
Yeah, I do. I don't know
I think
what
it's because
happened.
it's mystery fish.
So as far as sushi, the only raw fish I can eat is tuna. And
it's canned tuna you don't like.
Now I don't know. I haven't had raw tuna sushi, sashimi for a long time. Who knows what's going to happen? Because I was shocked that recently when I had canned tuna, it was too fishy for me to finish. Huh. So weird. I think you can acquire allergies at a certain part in your life.
Maybe it's also like a hormone thing. Like, it could very easily be because like when I was pregnant and I had excess hormones from pregnancy. I mean, that's the whole premise of like food aversions and like morning sickness. And like, there was a whole list of shit. I couldn't eat Korean food my first pregnancy. I couldn't eat Chinese food. I couldn't eat Japanese food. It was awful.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're saying I might be pregnant?
You might be the Immaculate Conception. Anyway, is that your only update, Cheryl?
Yes, I think it's good. I think it's really, really heavy and very intense. And so I can only have one update. So
guys, if you used to like tuna and all of a sudden you discovered you don't, maybe your hormones have shifted.
Well, we don't know what that is. That's Dr. Joy diagnosing. Mm-hmm.
But I'm a very good doctor. So good, my first name is Doctor. Anyway, rolling on to shout outs. I have a shout out today for my friend Tara, who I met up with in summer. She brought her own coffee maker and mugs and creamer and Keurig cups and bottled water. And I made fun of how many bags we dragged from her car to the hotel. I'm not kidding you. I was like, you moving in here? And we stayed one night. So it was ridiculous. But it made having coffee so much more enjoyable. So fast forward to this weekend, my husband and I went and stayed at a hotel because we watched our kid play volleyball. And guess what? I had bought a French press coffee maker. I got fresh ground coffee. I took bottled water. I took the kettle to warm up the water, and I took our own mugs from home. And we went downstairs to have breakfast in the hotel with our own coffee that tasted amazing. Because, their coffee tastes like shit.
I drink whatever.
Cheryl, it was a game changer. So thank you, Tara, for the great idea. At 56 years of age, I have come to the conclusion that I'm too old and too bougie to be drinking shit coffee. And I don't drink anything. Like, I don't drink alcohol. And I don't drink, I drink these icy black cherry drinks that Cheryl's addicted me to. Occasionally.
Is that what it is?
Yes. It's when somebody makes you addicted to something you didn't used to be addicted to. I occasionally will order a Diet Coke when we go out to eat, but I've even been trying to stay away from Diet Coke because I've heard that the brown juice is bad for the old gut. So I literally, I love coffee. You love coffee. We drink a lot of coffee in this house. And so when I go to a hotel.
But I'm not a coffee snob.
Oh, I am. So we now have a traveling coffee bar.
Wow.
So thank you, Tara.
Yay, Tara.
Yay. Anyway, you got any shout outs, Cheryl?
I have a shout out to a flower company that I use to send my friend Christine flowers. She lives in Arizona. Happy birthday, Christine.
Happy birthday to you.
Although by now it's 2 weeks past. But anyway, so I sent my friend Christine flowers for her birthday. And they tried delivering it on her birthday and she wasn't home. And they didn't just leave it on her porch, which I was really happy about. I was really worried because she lives in Arizona. And even though it's
they'd be wilted and dead by the time she gets home, right?
They would be past dead. So they didn't deliver it, and they waited till they could reach her the next day. And so they gave it to her. So I was really happy about that. So I give a shout out to them. I wasn't happy about the vase that it came in. I realized that on the website, the flowers can be substituted, the vase can be substituted, but this one was very specific, and it was on this little stand that gave it this really rustic look. So, but Christine sent me a picture of the flowers, and they were gorgeous. So I wrote to the company and I said, thank you. I started with the positives. I said, thank you for not leaving the flowers on her porch.
I started with the
The
positives.
flowers.
I see where we're headed.
The flowers are gorgeous, and that is the most important part. But I said you need to remove that stand in the picture because it's deceiving. And they sent me a canned response and gave me $15 off for my next purchase.
Wow.
Which I know is pretty good, and it doesn't say it has an expiration date within a week like Temu, but nevertheless, I wanted, I prefer them saying our apologies, and we're going to retake the picture and take out the stand. I was on a crusade.
Well, thank you so much for that shout out.
Well, shout out Christine's birthday.
Hey, Christine, happy birthday.
I don't know if she listens anymore.
She's very busy.
She is. That's why she couldn't get her flowers on her birthday.
And other people don't listen to us anymore because I think that, I don't know, maybe in Hawaii they don't have, internet. I don't know.
No, my friend Chris from Hawaii still listens to
us.
Hey,
Chris!
All my friends are named Chris, except
Chris, you. Christine, Christopher, Christery, Crystal. Oh, yeah, Crystal Meth and Crystal Light.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my God. Wow, that's crazy. You have a lot of Christies.
Chris Kringle.
I have one
Chris
friend.
Kringle.
I have one friend named Chris who's a woman, and I have one friend named Chris who's a man. And that's it. Trying to think.
You need more Chris's in your life.
I know Christine, so I can call her my friend.
And you know Crystal.
I know Crystal Meth.
People are going to be like, Crystal
We call her Crystal Meth because she's white, to not confuse her with Crystal Light, who's Asian and tiny. So you guys now know why we call one Crystal Meth and one Crystal Light. And the funny thing is, whenever I see a picture, on Facebook or whatever, Crystal Meth, I literally think in my head Crystal Meth. So always know when we're talking about Crystal Light, that's the opposite of Crystal Meth. Isn't that funny?
Oh my God.
I'm sure she really appreciates the fact that we call her Crystal Meth.
I'm sure she loves
I literally met her once. No, twice. Mm-hmm. And I'm calling her Crystal Meth.
And you almost went to Spain with her, even though you don't know her. She could have killed you in your sleep.
No, that wouldn't have happened. If you listened last week, guys, don't take rides from strangers, okay? All right, and guess what? This week we're back with murder, everyone's favorite genre. And Cheryl is going to wow us and horrify us at the same time. What do we have today?
Well, you know, Joy, we love mushrooms. I love mushrooms.
And I love to cook with mushrooms.
Yeah, and that's why
Yum, yum,
I
yum.
love that you put mushrooms in a lot of your dishes because I love me some mushrooms. Except
She
shiitake.
likes mushrooms with silica gel on them.
That's the best way to eat them.
It's a new pasta we call silica gel pasta.
That's where you, for those of you that heard the story of me eating the silica gel with my rice cakes. Anyway, so we love mushrooms. I don't care for shiitake mushrooms. I also don't care for poisonous mushrooms.
Yeah.
So this week,
What? So picky. God damn,
call
you
me
are
crazy, but I like my mushrooms poisonless,
non-poison.
non-toxic. So we are going to talk about, obviously, the mushroom murders today. And my sources
Obviously.
are BBC News, Wikipedia, Australian Broadcasting Corporation. And next to mispronouncing Asian and French names, I am going to have a field day today with like technical, botanical, is that what you call it? Botanical terms, places in Australia, because
Ooh,
I think
fun.
Melbourne is Melbourne.
Melbourne.
I might do an interchangeably
Australia.
Melbourne and Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Anyway, the death cap mushroom, also known as, here I go, Amanita phalloides. Phalloides
Phalloides or phalloides. I don't
is
know.
considered the deadliest mushrooms to humans. This death cap mushroom is responsible for most mushroom poisonings worldwide, some of which are fatal. Native to Europe and the British Isles, my favorite. The death cap is now found as an invasive species on every continent except Antarctica. So if you don't
I
want
wonder why they're not on Antarctica. Is it because it's so cold they don't grow there? Because, you know, mushrooms grow from spores. So I think
Right,
it has to be like
probably.
a perfect climate or something. But you know what's really interesting about this, Cheryl? Just cutting in early on. Foraging is the activity that is what you do when someone says I'm going foraging. It means they go off in the woods and they find edible mushrooms and they harvest them and then they bring them home. And there are several different ways to make sure that they're edible. There's books that you can buy so you can like research the look of the mushroom, or you can take a picture and submit it to this website and they'll tell you if it's edible or not. Yeah. And then some people, like botanists, I imagine, and people who have done foraging their whole lives probably just know a lot about different plants and what you can and can't eat, because I have friends that forage and it's fascinating the amount of like stuff out there that's just growing by the side of the road that you could just roll over, like run out and pick up and shove it in your mouth and eat it.
Well, now when is foraging only related to mushrooms?
I believe so. I'll have to Google that.
Oh, it sounds like a verb that just means you're out looking for
Foraging,
stuff in the
yeah.
wild.
But like my kids went to a charter school from like 5th grade on, and one of the classes they had was called outdoor skills, and they learned how to identify watercress and field greens and wild onions and how to harvest them and eat them. And they used to like show me how to like eat all these plants that you would just randomly find in the wild.
Well, it's like Survivor, when one of their rewards was having a local person come out and show them how to survive off the land.
Yeah.
So they had stuff, you know, they had
That's
resources.
why, like Naked and Afraid. I think of those people. Sometimes they get someone who has all these like wild nature, whatever, you know, like
skills and
survival
knowledge.
skills, and they'll know like what you can and can't eat.
Yeah. Or fashion I don't know, they would show them how to, I forgot, but like make things out of other things. Anyway.
Wow. You're really Making things out of other things. I wonder. That would be a good show. We would pitch our new show, making things out of other things. What's the name of it?
Well, naked.
Making.
You gotta throw naked in there.
Naked. Oh yeah, naked making things out of things.
So anyway, if you don't want to run into these mushrooms, go to live in Antarctica. Okay, its appearance is similar to some non-poisonous mushrooms, which often leads to accidental poisonings. I would just not eat anything off the ground. The cap ranges in color from greenish, yellow to brown, tan, or barely white, and measures about 1.5 inches in diameter. The death cap contains 3 main types of Okay, here we go. Mycotoxin, amatoxins, phallotoxins, and virotoxins. Amatoxins stop DNA production in humans, leading to liver and kidney.
Liver and kidney. My liver, my kidney's not working. That's how we call them down here in the country. Hey, your liver's broken down, so's your kidney. Cheryl been here about 3 months now. She got down to lingo. Her kidney not working, neither is her tongue.
Leading to liver and kidney failure, coma, and death if untreated. Even a small piece can be deadly, and the toxins can't be destroyed by cooking, freezing, or drying. Erin Trudy Patterson was born Erin Trudy Scudder on September 30th, 1974. She grew up in the southeastern Melbourne suburb of Glen Waverley. In 1992, Erin was accepted for a science course at the University of Melbourne and later switched to accounting. She also trained to be an air traffic controller and graduated in 2001. Following her graduation, Erin worked as an air traffic controller with Air Services Australia in Melbourne between February 2001 and November 2002. She wasn't an air traffic controller for long. Within 3 years of entering the industry, she was working in animal management for the RSPCA at the Monash City Council's headquarters. In the same year, she began dating Simon Patterson, who worked as an engineer at Monash City Council. In July 2006, Erin inherited $2 million from her grandmother, which was paid to her over an 8-year period, starting in 2007.
That was generous.
Right? Erin married Simon Patterson in 2007, and they moved to Western Australia. While living in Western Australia, Erin gave birth to their son. Erin subsequently testified that she bonded with Gail and Don Patterson, her parents-in-law, during this period. According to Simon, Erin had bonded with his father, Don, over a shared love of knowledge and learning, and that she liked his gentle nature. Prior to the birth of their daughter, Erin and Simon relocated to Coonawarra, Victoria, to be closer to her in-laws.
What a cool name.
Yeah, Coonawarra. When they reached Western Australia, they could buy a house without a mortgage. They lived in Perth and also in York. At one stage, Erin opened a second-hand bookstore in the small rural town of Pemberton, where her husband worked with the local council. But they didn't hang around there for long, and few residents remember much about the one-time bookstore owner. Erin's father died from cancer in 2011, and in 2019, her mother also died from cancer. Erin and her sister inherited her parents' estate, which included a $900,000 beachfront retirement home in Eden, New South Wales. Erin's share of her parents' estate allowed her and Simon to provide interest-free loans to his 3 siblings and their spouses to buy homes.
Wow.
That's pretty generous, I think.
It is.
Former colleagues remember an aggressive and strange coworker. Erin's coworkers painted a picture of her as a solitary young woman, an odd loner, while others remember someone who is abrupt and abrasive. 3 former colleagues said some would call her Crazy Erin and Scudder the Nutter behind her back.
Oh.
At one point, Erin made a bullying complaint against another air traffic controller. Another former colleague remembered a more hostile version of Erin Scudder. Co-workers told ABC she was quite aggressive in the way she spoke to people. A former colleague said during her time at Air Services, Erin would call into the air traffic control center pretending to be another worker and say they were sick. Then she giggled in the corner when the supervisors found the purported sick employee at work and questioned why they were there. They said she wasn't necessarily always pleasant. They said she wasn't necessarily always unpleasant to be around, but you tended to be very wary that she could snap or say something unpleasant at the drop of a hat. In the same year Erin met Simon, she had her first serious brush with the law. In June 2004, Erin was almost 3 times over the legal limit when she was involved in a drunken crash at Glen Waverly. Court records reveal she was driving an unregistered car and didn't stop after the crash to give her name and address.
Uh-oh.
Erin pleaded guilty to 5 charges and was convicted and fined $1,000, which she elected to pay in $40 monthly installments.
That's all she had to pay?
Which is incredible because she had a lot of money, didn't she? She had that inheritance and then...
But also maybe because like they lived rurally or something and there was only like 2 people out there. They were, more concerned about her killing herself if she hit something than someone else. I don't know. I mean, every country, I guess, has their own laws about, like, auto maintenance when drinking.
It sounds like she had a lot of money. Why couldn't she just pay off the $1,000?
I don't know.
I think that says something about her personality. Her license was canceled and she was disqualified from driving in Victoria for 2.5 years.
Oh, there you go. There's the
punishment.
Kicker. Yeah.
Can you imagine not driving for 2.5 years?
As long as I had someone to drive me around, I don't think it would bother me.
You think?
I could have a driver. You could drive me.
I don't like driving. But I just think you would feel like you lost your independence.
Yeah, for
really
sure.
Erin said that when she was a kid, her mother would weigh her and her sister every week to make sure they weren't putting on too much weight.
Oh, great.
That's like terrible. It's terrible. Parents, don't do that to your kids. It's here in childhood that her lifelong battles with eating disorders and low self-esteem began. She said, I'd been fighting a never-ending battle of low self-esteem most of my adult life, and the further inroads I made into being middle-aged, the less good I felt about myself. Despite such feelings, many of those who know Erin remember her as smart and witty. But, it's just really sad because you don't know as a parent how much you are... how much you're influencing them later on in life. Like,
yeah. And the other thing is there was that, I remember as a child hearing that you can't be too rich or too thin, I mean, there definitely was, some cultures I feel like are more obsessed with looking a certain, like weight issues, but every country makes fun of the United States because, we're all fat. And, American tourists are fatties in every picture in every country. So, I guess there's misery loves company. The good news is this is a big country. So if we don't want to go to a skinny country, we can just travel around our own country and be fat over here.
No, but what I'm saying, can you imagine being a child and being weighed?
It's like our parents, I feel like our parents' generation was genuinely broken when it came to like, health and things like that. Like I have a family member who said that when she went to the doctor and complained about the baby weight after her baby was born, the doctor just told her to smoke some cigarettes. My God. Yeah. So, it's no wonder that our parents like just didn't really have a lot of like tools in their tool belt when it came to like, good positive body messages.
Yeah. That's terrible, though. It probably shaped her life and what she eventually, became and what she did. And Erin's relationship with Simon began to deteriorate following the birth of their first child. The couple underwent several short-term separations before reaching a financial settlement and long-term split in 2015. Following their separation, Erin and Simon shared custody of their 2 children and remained on friendly terms, including going on holidays together.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'm always impressed when I hear that.
Yeah, me too. I'm always impressed when people can like put their own ego aside and focus on the welfare of their children. And it happens so infrequently.
Yeah. However, in 2022, Aaron and Simon's friendly relationship declined after he filed a tax return which listed himself as single. Due to this change in his relationship status, Aaron became ineligible for government child support payments, with Simon being told by a federal government agency to stop paying his children's school fees and medical bills.
I thought she was rich.
This is what I'm saying.
She got millions of dollars from her parents. Did she spend it all?
Well, that's why the $1,000 fine when she was drunk, she had to pay it in $40 installments.
So bizarre.
While Simon claimed that this change in status was the result of a mistake by his accountant, the incident damaged the couple's relationship. Between November 2021 and September 2022, Simon was hospitalized 3 times with gastrointestinal symptoms, with the second incident resulting in a coma and requiring life-saving surgery.
Whoa.
A medical expert's report commissioned for the trial stated that Simon's symptoms were consistent with the ingestion of barium carbonate, an ingredient in rat poison.
Whoa.
I don't know why he was drinking rat poison. That was crazy. No. Erin's relationship with her in-laws had become estranged. According to her brother-in-law, Matthew Patterson, Erin missed several family events. Erin said she was hurt when she thought she was a last-minute invite to Gil's 70th birthday celebration. She felt hurt because she thought she was left off the invite list.
Because they didn't want to eat her rat poison burgers that she was going to bring. Hey, everyone. I'm coming to the barbecue, and oh, by the way, I'm gonna bring my mushroom burgers. Yeah. Oh yeah, they're delicious.
There were also suggestions of the tense and strained relationships and screenshots of rants made by Erin to online friends about Simon being a deadbeat and his family a lost cause. During another group chat, she said, "This family, I swear to fucking God, why isn't she horrified her son is such a deadbeat?" referring to her mother-in-law, Gail. On July 20th,
here's the news flash. Even if your kid is a deadbeat, as a parent, you're going to love your child.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've seen parents like cover up murders for people, for their kids. So on July 29, 2023, and this is like, it's so weird because it's so recent. It's not like it was back in ancient times. You know what I mean? But you just mentioned poisonings last week. Anyway, on July 29, 2023, Erin cooked individual beef Wellingtons for a lunch for her in-laws, Dawn and Gail's sister, Heather, and Heather's husband, Ian, at her home. Her estranged husband, Simon, was invited but did not attend. Erin claims her 2 children went to the movies at the time of the lunch. Beef Wellington, for anybody that doesn't know, is a dish featuring a seared beef tenderloin coated with a mushroom paste, wrapped in prosciutto, and encased in golden flaky puff pastry. It sounds delicious and very fattening, and it sounds like a heart attack on a plate. But also, these contained poisonous mushrooms.
Oh, God.
I don't think that's in the recipe.
I don't
the last time
so.
I checked.
I think it is, but only in the Game of Thrones version.
The following day, all 4 guests were admitted to the hospital with suspected gastroenteritis. Right? Gastroenteritis.
Yes.
I think I got it. Erin went to the hospital with reported stomach pains and diarrhea, but reportedly refused to be admitted. Doctors were so concerned for her welfare that they called the police. There were further health concerns for Erin and Simon's children, who purportedly ate leftovers of the beef Wellington, but the mushrooms and pastry had been removed from the one that they ate. And doctors were adamant that the children should also be checked for any adverse reactions. It was suggested that Erin was initially reluctant to seek medical attention for the children. On August 4th, 5 days after the lunch, Gail Patterson, age 70, and Heather Wilkinson, age 66, died in the hospital, and an investigation was launched by Victoria Police. On August 5th, Dawn Patterson, age 70, died in the hospital, despite receiving a liver transplant.
Oh my gosh.
Ian Wilkinson, age 69, remained hospitalized for over 7 weeks and survived. Erin appeared in Latrobe Valley Magistrates Court in Morwell on November 3rd, 2023. From then until her mid-2025 trial, she was detained at the Dame Phyllis Frost Center, a women's maximum security prison in Melbourne.
So she recovered because she repeatedly, she refused treatment, remember?
Yeah. Let's continue.
So maybe
on.
she was pretending she had a tummy ache.
On May 7, 2024, Erin pleaded not guilty to the 3 murder charges and 5 attempted murder charges.
Yikes.
She elected to fast-track her case, meaning that her case would skip a magistrate's court committal hearing and proceed directly to a Section 198 hearing in the Supreme Court of Victoria, where the evidence against her would be tested for the first time. She was also charged with attempting to murder ex-husband Simon on multiple occasions, but those charges were subsequently dropped. Multiple occasions.
Wow.
So it wasn't just the rat poison, but
good grief.
Erin Patterson's trial began on April 29, 2025. So just this year. I know. It sounds like something, I don't know. When I hear poisonings, actually there was the ethylene glycol I talked about and the eye drops.
That's
right?
true.
Those are recent
and
too.
And remember the Tylenol, the tainted Tylenol back in the was it late 80s, early 90s? It was a while ago.
I don't think they ever found who did it.
No, I don't think they did.
Police confirmed that Erin provided them with a detailed statement in which she said she had bought dried mushrooms from an Asian supermarket in the Melbourne 3 months before.
Oh, sure. Blame it on the Asians.
Police found a food dehydrator with traces of the death cap mushroom in a dumpster at a waste transfer station in Coonawarra. Erin initially lied to police about owning this appliance, despite its manual being found in her kitchen drawer. The receipt for the purchase was also shown to the jury, and a shop assistant came forward after Erin's arrest, having remembered the sale.
Oh, God.
On May 1st, the court heard from Erin's estranged husband, Simon Patterson. He testified that Erin had a close relationship with her father-in-law, Don. He detailed his tumultuous marriage with Erin. Simon also confirmed that Erin was disappointed that he had declined her lunch invitation. I bet she was.
Yeah.
After Simon took the Wilkinsons to the hospital, he said that Heather Wilkinson had twice recalled that Erin had eaten from a different colored plate from the other guests. During cross-examination, Simon testified that his former wife owned several mismatched plate sets, but had one colorful plastic plate that was made by their daughter. He believed that was the plate that Erin had used during the lunch. Simon also testified that he had first heard about Erin using a food dehydrator during a conversation at the hospital a day after the lunch. On May 2nd, Simon resumed giving evidence. He stated that Erin had sent him extremely aggressive messages over child support payments in the months leading up to the alleged murders. The court was shown text messages between the couple. Simon also testified that the defendant never asked about the well-being of her in-laws following the mushroom poisoning incident. Gippsland Southern Health Service nursing director Kylie Ashton told the court that Erin had refused to let hospital staff examine her and signed a discharge at own risk form. Erin and the couple's 2 children subsequently went to the Monash Medical Center at Clayton. Simon also testified that Erin had arranged for the lunch in order to discuss her purported cancer diagnosis with her relatives. During cross-examination, Simon said that he remained part of her extended family and attended family celebrations despite their separation in 2015. Simon also said that the defendant had a history of leaving hospitals against medical advice and had experienced various medical issues throughout their marriage, including heart arrhythmia and postnatal depression. The court then heard from 3 women, Christine Hunt, Daniela Barkley, and Jenny Hay. The court was shown posts by Erin showing the dehydrator along with sliced mushrooms that were sent in a Facebook group that the 4 women were in. Jenny noted Erin's interest in mushrooms, while Daniela testified that the 4 women bonded through a shared interest in the Kelly Lane murder case. And if you're wondering, Kelly Lane is a former Australian water polo player and teacher who was convicted of the 1996 murder of her newborn baby.
Good grief.
Daniela and Erin had, you know how you bond with people who
Yeah.
over a shared interest in true crime. Daniela and Aaron had asked the group for advice on cooking beef Wellington 2 weeks prior to the fatal lunch. Daniela and Jenny also testified that Aaron was an atheist who clashed with her Baptist husband Simon, who she alleged was abusive and coercive. On May 6, Ian Wilkinson, who ate the meal but survived, recalled watching Aaron serve the food, 5 separate beef Wellingtons onto 4 gray plates and an orange plate for herself. His wife, Heather, who died, had commented on this, according to a witness, saying, "I've puzzled about it since lunch. Is Aaron short of dishware?" Aaron had no traces of death cap mushroom poisoning.
Of course not.
In a police interview, detectives told her, "We're trying to understand why you're not that ill." But Aaron had her explanation. She ate too much cake. That's always my explanation for everything.
That's right.
She said she ate another piece of cake.
That's what I tell the doctor when they say you got diabetes. Oh, that's too bad. I think I ate too much cake.
She said she ate another piece of cake and then another piece, and before she knew it, the cake was gone and she felt overfull. So she says, "I went to the toilet and brought it back up again. After I'd done that, I felt better."
Ew.
There was also the question of where the mushrooms came from. Aaron claimed some were bought dried from an Asian grocery store in Melbourne. But
always the Asians.
But she couldn't say which suburb, the brand, or provide proof of the purchase. She insisted, however, that she had never picked wild mushrooms. Later, after photos showing what looked like death cap mushrooms being weighed on kitchen scales emerged as evidence, Erin admitted she lied about her foraging hobby because she was scared. So you just schooled us on foraging.
Yep.
Erin claimed that while preparing the beef Wellington meal, she added mushrooms from a container in her pantry, which she later realized may have included both store-bought and foraged mushrooms. May have. She also claimed that all 6 individual beef Wellingtons she made were the same, and that she did not intentionally put death cap mushrooms in the dish. Erin told the court she had suffered from bulimia for years and had made herself throw up after the meal, something her defense team said explained why she did not become as sick as the others who ate the meal. A lie to her guests about having cancer was because she was embarrassed about plans to get weight loss surgery, Erin said. And she said she didn't tell authorities the truth about her mushroom foraging hobby because she feared they might blame her for making her relatives sick. Erin had argued it was all a terrible accident. After listening to more than 2 months of evidence, the jury didn't believe her. Erin Patterson, 50, said she loved her in-laws and had no reason to kill them, claiming she wanted the lunch to be special. It was special, all right.
She made it special, that's for sure.
What she served was beef Wellington cooked with death cap mushrooms, deadly fungi, which prosecutors said she had sought out and picked to use as a murder weapon.
Oh my gosh.
Her 4 guests soon fell seriously ill. Within days, 3 were dead. In the days that followed, Erin tried to cover her tracks, dumping a dehydrator she used to prepare the mushrooms and keeping quiet as her relatives lay dying. Oh prosecutors accused her of telling so many lies it was hard to keep track. Some of the photos released by the Supreme Court of Victoria show the beef Wellington leftovers which had been collected from Erin Patterson's home. The leftovers were sent off for testing to determine if there were traces of death cap mushrooms, and we now know that traces of the toxin were detected in the food.
I wonder, how much of this mushroom you have to ingest, and also how much she had put on the beef Wellington, because, sometimes you'll order something and it'll make you violently ill. Mm-hmm. Everybody I know has had food poisoning at least once in their life. And it's a horrible experience. But obviously, and you feel like you're dying, but obviously, once your body
purges it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then you begin the task of healing, right? But it's a horrible feeling. So these people were hospitalized. Most people who get food poisoning don't have to be hospitalized. Right. They just caution you about getting dehydrated. But when you're throwing up and you have diarrhea, how can you avoid getting dehydrated?
Right. But then
gosh.
I don't know, it's crazy. She probably put enough, because I'm sure she's not.
Because one guy had a liver transplant.
Yeah.
So that had to have been a healthy amount.
Yeah, because I'm sure she didn't know how much, so she put more than enough. But also probably not enough to alarm them, like, hey, this dish got a lot
so
of
it didn't
mushroom.
taste. I gotta tell you, I am a huge fan of the potluck. But when you, and I love going, like I used to love work potlucks and, you know, so fun to eat but when I read this, I think of how easy it would be for somebody to poison all their coworkers or, you know, their family or, you know, it's like so easy.
Or those open bars, like at certain
salad bars. Somebody could just slip something in there.
I think I saw one of like some cult leaders like did that in the local town. They like tainted there was a buffet and they tainted. I don't know if people died in that.
Terrible.
They just got sick. But anyway,
I don't go to buffets, by the way.
Well, it's kind of gross when you think about it.
It is.
Some images that were shown during trial were of Erin's dining room table where she served up the food and a food dehydrator, which she initially denied owning. Erin later admitted that she dumped it at a local trash dump the week after the lunch. It was recovered by police and a forensic examination uncovered her fingerprints and traces of death cap mushrooms. These images, which were shown to the jury, are part of about 100 exhibits that the court has now released. Experts testified about mushroom poisoning symptoms similar to those experienced by the Pattersons and Wilkinsons following the lunch. Erin's daughter told police that she was not aware of Erin using mushrooms in her cooking. That same day, the court watched a police interview of Erin's teenage son, who confirmed details about the lunch and guests on July 29, 2023. The son described Erin's relationship with her husband, Simon, as very negative. Erin's son also corroborated his sister's testimony that they had finished leftovers from the lunch for dinner. The son also told the court that Erin had taken a photo of mushrooms in July or August 2020. It sounds like she was on Facebook, like putting pictures of like...
Well, yeah, because there are foraging groups where you can post pictures of the mushrooms and people will say...
group for everything.
Yeah, people will say, oh no, don't eat those.
Mushrooms.
And because some mushrooms resemble other mushrooms, you know?
I wouldn't trust...
I'm
you
sorry.
said some people look at a book to...
I like to go to Costco where they have the white mushrooms... They have the portobello mushrooms, and then they have the brown mushrooms. And I kind of stick to those. And then I do like the woodier, the oyster, and I do go, what are those like long
the
ones?
enoki
mushrooms at the Asian market. But outside of that, I tend to just stick to like the 6 mushrooms that I just mentioned.
That are packaged and you buy from the store.
Yeah. And they're practically clean.
I love portobello mushrooms. They make such a great substitute for
meat.
So portobello mushroom
I used to work at a place where they'd soak it in red wine and then grill it. Oh, it was so good.
And then put some cheese on that. Victoria Police Digital Forensics Officer I'm going to say Shaman Fox Hendry. What a name.
That's a cool name.
Testified about his examinations of Erin's devices that were seized by police in August 2023. An analysis of the defendant's computer found that Erin had searched for the iNaturalist website and death cap mushrooms May 18th and 28th in 2022. On July 7, 2025, the jury returned its verdict, finding Erin guilty on all accounts. On September 8, 2025, which is just like a month ago, Erin Patterson was sentenced to life with the possibility of parole after 33 years.
I don't get it.
I know. I don't
mean,
get it either. Did she really think...
She really didn't like her in-laws.
I guess not. But did she really think she was going to get away with it? I guess...
I don't know. I think
it's probably...
I think
that all of them ate at her place and then all died. Maybe if she had done it one at a time. But like to have that many people come over for a meal and then die a couple of days later is kind of like...
Well, I have to go back to... Obviously, she was a tormented soul. Right. She had... eating disorder. She probably had body dysmorphia. She
what if her mother never did that to her and her sister? Do you think her life
she had a
been...
difficult relationship with her ex. She maybe the reason she was worried about money is maybe she blew through all the inheritance she got. And the other thing is, remember, you know, her kids, as her kids were growing up, the realization is like, they're going to leave. I'm going to be here by myself. I don't have a spouse. My in-laws hate me. And maybe Simon had moved on. And what I will say is this. Sometimes when that train leaves the station, it picks up speed. And I have discovered that people have a really hard time. And maybe the plan, like she's talking to herself and she's like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to like get these mushrooms. Nobody's going to suspect. I'm going to kill them all. And then I'll get their properties. And like maybe in her head, it sounded like a really good plan. It's just like compulsive liars. Like, you know, they lie so much that it's hard for you to decipher what's true. But then once you discover, but even they have a hard time. So I think that train was barreling down and she just kept, you know, you just keep thinking, well, you know, it's going as planned, not realizing like you have history on your phone. You have, you know, dehydrator. You have all this stuff that links you to this crime and you're going to be found out. And that's the thing is, I just feel like, you know, she probably admitted later on, who knows, or admits now, I just got in over my head and I felt like I couldn't, you know. It's also, it's like you see it with small children when they lie and you go, did you do that? No. And then they kind of double down and get defiant. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
And then, because little kids don't learn about lying until they get a little older. They don't know it's called lying.
Yeah.
So they're just defiant. And then, because no kid wants to say, yeah, I'm a bad kid or I did something naughty. And then what happens is, you know, you use it as a teaching opportunity, but you do have to teach children that's not okay to lie. And there has to be a consequence, because what keeps them, if you placate them, they grow up lying and get away with it. Mm-hmm. And then they turn into adult, you know, murderers and compulsive liars.
Yeah.
So it's funny. I think about murder plans that I have read about or learned about in my lifetime. And sometimes I scratch my head and I think, what were these people thinking? It's such a poorly laid plan. Like this woman, but I'm sure in her head it all made sense.
I guess, but she invited not only her in-laws, which I guess their relationship was estranged, and so she was mad at them, but she invited her mother-in-law's sister and her husband.
I mean, she definitely had probably a list of people that she was out for. Here's what I would have done. And I'm not that I'm condoning murdering people, but
I'm not eating any of your dishes that have
mushrooms. I would have invited one person.
That's the thing.
And
you have
prepared their favorite meal and then been like, oh. And then what I would have done is maybe put like something to upset the stomach of someone else, you know, so that it was more than one person and we all got food, made it look like we all got food poisoning.
I know, she put
one person dies.
She put hers on a separate colored plate.
You don't invite all the family. You know, it's like, are you kidding me? It reminds me of like Water for Chocolate, remember? Where she is making the wedding meal and like her tears are falling into the food and then everyone's running and vomiting over into the river and her mother like freaks out and beats her up or something because she poisoned basically without realizing it the entire wedding party because her lover was marrying her sister or something. So anyway, that's just a crazy, crazy murder case. You know what, guys? Cheryl brings it. When Cheryl brings the murder, she brings the mayhem.
I didn't bring the murder. It was Aaron that brought the murder.
Yeah, but I gotta tell you, this is not gonna stop me from eating mushrooms.
I still love mushrooms.
Right? And if you are a grown-up that doesn't eat mushrooms, you need to grow up. Like, mushrooms are so effing good.
They're so good. The texture.
You know who doesn't eat mushrooms? John.
Okay, tell people who John is.
Oh, John is Vinka's husband.
Who's Vinka?
Vinka's the lady I work for. And we sometimes joke around like, you know, that he's like, because mushrooms are so, like, such an integral part. That's the umami flavor in Asian cooking.
Yeah.
And so when you don't, if you love Asian food and you don't love mushrooms, it's like you've just cut one of the legs off of someone. But you're standing there tottering on one leg. It's like, how How can you not eat mushrooms?
Although I do understand that the texture turns people off, and I can understand that. But
it tends to get a little slimy when you cook it.
I love mushrooms.
I love them.
I just don't like death cap mushrooms.
Yeah, that's right. If you don't like mushrooms, if you like death cap mushrooms, you're gonna be dead. And if you try to feed them to somebody, they're gonna be dead, and that is a crime. But you know what else is a crime?
What's that, Joy?
That it's dinner time. No, that we are out of time.
That is a crime. Well, thank you for listening, everyone, and don't complicate your day. All creativity, commentary, and opinions in this podcast belong to Cheryl and Joy. Music composed and mixed by Gabe McKeon. Logo and merch managed by Cheryl Yamaguchi. Podcast editing, advertising, and social media managed by Joy McKeon. Legal representation provided by John Bojezic. Please like, subscribe, follow, and listen. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Audible.com, Amazon Music, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. And remember, you can find us on Instagram and TikTok, or you can email us at murderandeverythingelse@gmail.com.
Bye, fishes.